In this video, I'm going to explain to you how the Schengen Agreement, that open border policy of the European Union, contributed significantly to what happened to Madeleine McCann. Now, this video is not about me being shrill, and it's not about me connecting dots that ought not to be connected. There is new evidence from German police about this crime and about how the lead suspect, a man who is already in prison, may have been able to get away with what he did for so many years because of his ability to move from country to country according to the border-free system of Schengen. Before I start this video, I want to, and I've never done this before, give an ever so slight trigger warning. We all know about the case of Madeleine McCann. This goes through new evidence presented from The Sun and indeed from Channel 4 News based on the German investigation into her disappearance. It deals with a difficult subject, but before I say anything else, I want to be clear. This isn't a crime channel, and I'm not interested in criminology. I'm interested in the politics that sits behind this. Hello, everyone. This is Andre Walker. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please do subscribe, but more importantly, hit the bell notification icon. It's the best way to absolutely guarantee you get all my videos as soon as they are released. So, the situation with Madeleine McCann, for those of you who were unfamiliar, Playa de Luz in Portugal. Her family went to what sounds like quite a posh resort. They were having dinner in a tapas bar with other parents, and all of the kids were in the various apartments that they could see from where they were sat. Every half hour, one of the parents takes it in turns to go around looking. It was Kate McCann's turn to look, and she found that Madeleine was missing. Now, we know that the Portuguese criminal investigation was a complete joke. There were people wandering in and out. A lot of forensic evidence that might have been garnered was lost. Also, the Portuguese police were obsessed with the view that Kate and Jerry McCann were guilty, and they didn't bother looking at all of the evidence that suggested that there was an active gang of burglars cum S offenders in the area. Now, I want to talk to you about Christian Bruckner. Now, I guess I should say that he's not been convicted of this crime, nor has he been charged. However, he is currently in prison for R-ing a pensioner, an American pensioner in Playa de Luz. He has also been arrested on multiple occasions and investigated on multiple occasions for burglaries and low-level S offences that he was committing in Playa de Luz, specifically scoping out flats of holidaymakers and then going in there. Now, what has been unearthed in the past week is this. German police now have 6 pen drives which were found, and what I'm about to tell you is shocking in of itself, that Christian Bruckner had a lockup in Germany where he buried, I can't believe I'm saying this, and it's almost comical, where he buried the 6 pen drives with a dead dog on top of them in order to discourage people from digging them up. Obviously, another animal found the dog, and what was dug up includes a series of stories about kidnapping toddlers. It also contained the bags that they found, 75 pieces of toddler underwear, which he'd bought. Obviously, somebody who has a grotesque interest in this sort of material. And we don't know fully everything that the German authorities have, but we do know this. Like many S offenders, Christian Bruckner started as a teenager, and when he was 17 years old, he was convicted, and they wanted to send him to prison for 2 years for an S offence. But that's not what happened to him. Instead, what he did was got into his car and drove to Portugal, and there were no stops whatsoever as a result of the Schengen Agreement, and he was able to go to Portugal in order to continue what he was doing. When Madeleine McCann went missing, the following day, Christian Bruckner put his car into a new name, re-registered his car, a senior moment, re-registered his car into somebody else's name and left for Spain. He bumped into a friend at a music concert who said, I can't believe that this child has gone missing from Portugal and nobody saw or heard anything. Christian Bruckner said, yes, but when she got picked up, she didn't scream. Now, that detail was not just unknown to the police, but clearly was never in the media. What did Bruckner do next? He then left Spain immediately, didn't stay for the entire concert or music festival, went back to Germany where he was arrested. Now, every single criminal investigation that Christian Bruckner has been subject to, he has done a runner. Now, he didn't have a legal right to be in Portugal. He didn't have a legal right to be in Spain if he's on the run. But it's so easy under the Schengen agreement to get from country to country. There are no borders whatsoever. It also raises the possibility, though admittedly this is unlikely, that Madeleine McCann could have been put in the boot of a car in Playa de Luge and driven to Munich, and nobody would have taken any action to investigate or stop, because there's no way of stopping anybody unless you specifically knew what car it was, unless there's specifically an arrest warrant, unless there's specifically a search warrant. Now, the European Union's solution to all of this is to create a European-wide police force. I would suggest to you something very simple. We've all been through international borders. It takes 10 or 15 minutes. It's not a big deal. Now, as you know, I was reasonably in favour of a lot of the free movement stuff that the EU came up with. I know you don't agree with me, but I was fairly okay about it. What I didn't like was when poorer countries came into the EU, there was no temporary transition rules. But I know that you're against immigration, but can we agree on one thing? These basic checks from country to country. Are you a man wanted for SAing a 75-year-old American pensioner? It's a basic detail, right? Do you have a toddler that you kidnapped in Playa de Luge in the back of your car? Do you have 6 pen drives and a dead dog smeared all over them? Do you have all of these items, 80 gigabytes of God knows what that was found at this lockup? Also found at the lockup, we believe, was soil from a reservoir in Playa de Luge. They've now taken soil samples. But I know this sounds stupid, but when you've got a bag full of mud from some sort of burial site in Playa de Luge, questions would be asked at the border, but there's no border. Now, I just want to be clear on one thing. The EU are not responsible for what happened to Madeleine McCann, but by God did their stupid rules make it easier for a bad person. You and I have no problem getting through international borders. Yeah, all right. We've all taken a few too many fags and beer or whatever it is. You know, we've all loaded up the transit van at Pidou in northern France. But we're not talking about that. And we're not talking about the ability to go to another country. Very, very few people who are legitimate struggle to get a work visa or indeed get a holiday visa waiver to go where they want to go. What we're talking about is ease of transport that has no benefit to the vast majority of you, but a huge benefit to international criminals and offenders. If Christian Bruckner had been stopped from leaving Germany when he was 17, Madeleine McCann may still be alive today. I can't guarantee that, and you're going to say in the comment section, well, he's not even been convicted. Who knows? But I'll tell you something else, and this is the final thing. In 3 or 4 weeks' time, Christian Bruckner is being released from prison. He has been charged with a further 5 offences, which he was found not guilty of, specifically breaking into flats in Playa de Luge, on one occasion wearing a mask and R-ing a woman whilst videoing it. They can't find the video. He has been let away with that by a judge in Germany. They're appealing that decision. But the lack of evidence against Christian Bruckner is the reason that there is a very distinct possibility that in 4 weeks he'll be allowed to leave prison in Germany. And what will he do? What he did every other time he was in trouble. Travel to a country where there's a transient population, somewhere like a caravan site, somewhere like a holiday resort, where questions aren't asked about who you are, and then continue to offend on that basis. This needs to be stopped. And I think that most of us, most sensible people would say 15 minutes extra at the border is a price worth paying to defend our families when they go on holiday in Portugal. Thank you so much for watching this video. We are also raising money for the Patriot Fund, which funds projects to support right-wing and patriotic causes. The link is in the description. If you give me some money, if you give the Patriot Fund some money, then I also get your email address and I'm able to give you monthly updates on what we do with the cash. Until next time, goodbye.